Hey everyone, this is John Coleman. Welcome back for another exciting episode of LinkedIn Live Friends with Your Benefits. Today I'm joined with Stephanie Santolo from Milk Stork, and Stephanie's here to talk about Milk Stork and also what employers can actually do to help support employees and new parents during the ongoing formula shortage. Hey Stephanie, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Hey, John. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course, of course. So, Stephanie, before we get started, I want our viewers to get you better, right? So, can you tell our viewers one fun fact about yourself?
Yeah, so I love music, and I'm actually super excited because the Red Hot Chili Peppers are going on tour. So in July, I'm going to get the chance to go to one of their concerts. So I can't wait.
Very, very exciting. Certainly a throwback band from the 90s, right?
Yes.
So, Stephanie, absolutely. So, Stephanie, you're at this company, Milk Stork, right? So, some of our viewers have heard of Milk Stork, some haven't. Can you get everyone up to speed on what Milk Stork actually is?
Yeah, I'd love to. So Milk Stork is actually the first breast milk shipping company. So we were founded by a mom of three named Kate Torgerson back in 2015. And we work with corporate organizations, so employers who offer Milk Stork as a benefit to their employees. So we really are on a mission to just support working parents in general, with their breastfeeding and chest feeding choices so that they can pursue their ambitions. Yeah, so we've shipped like 5 million ounces of breast milk around the world, and we support tens of thousands of families. We've shipped milk home from over 100 countries. And then we've expanded into offering a full suite of lactation benefits to help support working parents.
Very, very cool. So, speaking of which, Stephanie, right? So, we know there's the ongoing formula crisis. We're not here today to talk about, the causes of it. But as an employer, really, what should an employer ultimately do to really support employees during this and perhaps ongoing as well? What do you recommend?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and it's so important because the formula shortage continues to impact millions of parents. Access to formula isn't the only problem, it's like the right type of formula. And so it remains like incredibly difficult. And unfortunately, there's no easy answer. We can't just wave a magic wand and suddenly we'll have a solution. But there are a few things that employers can do today, right now, easy
Okay.
things. So one is to start an internal infant formula resource. It's
Hmm.
really simple. You could do a Slack group, something as simple as a Slack channel, an employee resource group, maybe start the conversation on your intranet. But really, what this does is it just takes some of the legwork out for the parents by cultivating a community to just get the conversation going. They can talk about
Sure.
what formula they use. Maybe someone in the same geographical area saw a local Walgreens that just got a shipment. Just get that conversation happening. So I think a big thing is, secondly, provide comprehensive lactation support. This is
Right.
an ongoing problem that it's coming to light given the formula shortage, but
Hmm.
oftentimes folks have these challenges. So offering lactation benefits is huge. Making sure that adoptive families and families using surrogates have access to the lactation benefits, like Milk Stork, for example. That really helps because a lot of the time those folks will provide breast milk back to the adoptive family or the surrogate family. And then lastly, just be flexible, really be flexible.
Sure.
Parents who have infants and toddlers at home, maybe they get a call from their friend that the local Walgreens got the shipment in and they need to hop in their car and go down and grab some formula. I mean, it's
Yeah.
as easy as that. Just kind of lead with compassion and kind of allow them to do that. And then lastly, allow employees to opt out of business travel for the time
Hmm.
being. Make sure that they have access to things like breast milk shipping, to make it easier and
Sure.
solve those logistical problems, but allow them to opt out if they need to, and create a culture where that's okay. So those are the four things that we really recommend right now, in light of the formula shortage.
So, Stephanie, very, very interesting. And certainly you mentioned lactation benefits. So, I just want to hear a little bit more about Milk Stork's benefit, right? So, I guess the first thing is, right? So, let's say an employer does offer this. As an employee, how do you actually go about accessing the Milk Stork benefit?
Yeah, so we've made it really easy. We have a simple process where we actually build, it's a landing page, an employer specific URL,
Hmm.
milkstork.com/ your company name. Easy to just cut and paste, post it in a Slack channel, share it with your working parents, employee resource group, etc. But really, the employee just clicks that link, and then they'll see the lactation benefit options that their employer makes available to them. And then they just select what they need as needed. So,
Hmm.
say you have an employee who is, going to meet with a client or a partner, going to a conference or something next week. They can just come in, select the service that they need. Maybe it's travel breast milk shipping. They need a pump and ship, is what we call one of our services. They can place the order by entering in their address, selecting the address where the milk is shipping, and then it's as simple as that.
Very, very interesting. So, let's say as an employee, right, you access this benefit and you're traveling, right? So, how long does it take from the time you ship it to actually get to your home base, right?
Yeah, really good question. So, we do everything priority overnight.
Okay.
So, the milk is safely home on your doorstep by the next day.
Wow, and is for the receiving party, right? Is there anything they need to do on their end just to store it once they receive it? I assume they have to be home, right?
Yeah, it depends on the your personal situation at home. We are a breast milk shipping provider that can ship refrigerated breast milk or frozen breast milk. So the employee can actually choose like what's best for them. Some moms have a freezer full of breast milk and a backup supply. Some moms don't. They're literally pumping like ounce by ounce. So it's up to them
Hmm.
to kind of select which service they need from our breadth of offerings. And then they can coordinate with their partner, maybe family member, et cetera, who is watching the baby when they're on the trip.
Interesting, interesting. So, as an employer, right, if this is something you're interested in, is there a minimum size? Like, how does the model work? Talk to me about implementation too.
That's what's great is we really can support employers of all sizes.
Hmm.
Like Milk Stork is on a mission to make our breast milk shipping and lactation services available to as many moms as possible.
Hmm.
So when I say it's very simple, easy to launch and manage, I mean, we're
Yeah.
incredibly straightforward. We have it like a well-oiled machine. We work with tons of employers, so we're happy to make it as simple as possible for them to offer this to their employees and give them the support they need.
Very simple, very cool. So, I guess just as long as the employee is within, I guess, the lower 48, you could basically ship anywhere, right?
Really all over the world,
All over the
so
world. Huh.
yeah, I think if you think about it, with United States, like maternity leave, and how, we go back to work really quickly compared to
Yeah.
like a lot of other countries. So women are
Right.
getting back to work. So the need here is much higher because of that. So we do a lot of domestic breast milk shipping. But we've actually shipped milk home from 100 different countries around the world. And
Wow.
we can support companies that have employees who live in other countries. So we're expanding more and more every day as the need arises.
So very, very interesting. And I think I told you that, a client of mine actually, one of their female employees reached out and said, "Hey, we're actually interested in Milk Stork." And that's actually how I learned about you guys. Is that kind of how you're growing, or what's been the secret to your growth success?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's really being a mission driven company and putting the mom, our end user, our customer at the forefront of everything we do. Every decision we make is to support her, right? So solving those logistical challenges of being a working parent, with a practical solution. It's not just like a nice to have pie in the sky. It's like literally she's at the hotel, pumping her breast milk and shipping it home so that her baby is fed. She's able to
Yeah.
prioritize her family, focus on her career, combat, the motherhood penalty, motherhood tax. I'm sure you heard of that. Like
Sure.
right around the time that she wants to start a family, she's like making great strides in her career. So all of our decisions are to support that and make sure that that mom has what she needs in order to do that.
Very, very cool. So I think you had told me offline, right, that you guys have some sort of YouTube channel out there. If there, I guess, is an
Yeah.
employee or an employer who wants to learn more about Milk Stork, is that something we could post in the chat, below, or what do you recommend?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have milkstork.com/employers, which
Hmm.
has some really great information. But most folks, like you said, like moms are just going to their HR person asking for Milk Stork, and then they reach out to me directly. So they can just send me an email at stephanie@milkstork.com, give me a call, send me a message on LinkedIn. That's usually how it happens. It's just organic connections, and I'm happy to share more information to help them out.
Very, very cool. And then also, I guess one of my final questions is, let's say an employer doesn't offer this and their circumstances unfortunately warrant they can't offer, lactation benefits. Is this a benefit that an employee can purchase on their own, or is it solely available through their employer and that's it? In other words, can they purchase it through Milk Stork?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, so milkstore.com is our retail website. So we do have some of our services available just for anyone to go and access.
So very, very cool, Stephanie. So if there's an employer out there who's watching, is there anything else that they should know as it relates to Milk Stork or lactation benefits, or any recommendations you would give to an employer that is considering lactation?
Yeah. I think providing a comprehensive suite of lactation services, it doesn't just support like the parent's choice for feeding, and it doesn't just
Mhm.
support the transition back to work. I would encourage them to think about the impacts that this has on supporting employee mental health, which is critical. Creating a true
Sure.
culture of diversity, equity, and inclusion, especially gender equity, being inclusive of all different types of parents and their needs. It's a great way to attract and retain talent, especially thinking about getting employees to come work for you and then supporting them at every journey of their life. It drives employee engagement, performance, just increasing productivity. Think about like that mom taking that business trip, and having that practical
Sure.
solution to send milk home. She can focus. She's not stressing. She's not running around looking for dry ice or packaging materials. She has everything she needs.
Right.
And then just creating a pipeline of female leadership. That's what this really does. Is it supports them through a significant life transition that coincides with critical moments in their career. And it's just the right thing to do, to be honest.
So very, very interesting, Stephanie. And I think certainly with the great reshuffle and employers trying to do whatever they can to retain talent, I think you would argue that whether it's Milk Stork or another company in the space providing lactation benefits can be a benefit that can be used to and attract talent, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Well, great. Well, Stephanie, thank you very, very much for your time. We really appreciate all your feedback on this, the marketplace. And for all of you out there, your comments. So feel free to comment in the chat below. And as always, if you like the video, you like what you're seeing, we encourage you to like the video. Until next time, thank you for joining, and thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you. Bye-bye, John. Thanks for
Take
having
care,
me.
guys. Bye. Of course.